Hey MGTOWs, this is Vention. I'm just going to cover replacing the carburetor on my mid-90s Craftsman Lawn tractor. This has been a really good tractor, especially because I paid $150 for it. um, yeah, if you want to buy a lawn tractor, man, wait till the middle of winter when it's raining and snowing, and then hit Craigslist. I had a problem when I first bought it, though. It was in fairly poor shape. Might not have been worth much to anybody who wasn't mechanically inclined, but for me, man, it was a heck of a bargain. Plus, especially because I could get into it just a little bit at a time. You know, first the 150, and then a new some new belts and new filter, new various things. But the problem was it was flooding out a lot. I would shut it off, and then it would never restart until I managed to unflood it. And it took a lot of cranking, and it was a big pain in the butt. So I ended up rebuilding the carburetor with a kit, but the kit just wasn't perfect. It just didn't have all the pieces I needed. And the result is the flooding isn't as bad as it was, but it's still there a little bit. So I went ahead and added this little aftermarket fuel shutoff valve, and it's kind of handy for winterizing it too. Just shut it off, and then the gas isn't stuck in the carburetor all winter, and it in any case then it will be less likely to gel up or eat away the O-rings in the carburetor. So yeah, it's a better way of doing things. I have one in my pressure washer as well. But anyway, now I finally just got exasperated and decided to purchase a new carburetor for about $70 on Amazon, and it got really good reviews, so I think I'll pop it in. Okay, time to get started. Pull the air cleaner, get that out of the way, and the air filter. Okay, now I believe this is like a fuel shutoff solenoid, but I'm not sure. I suspect it probably is. So I imagine if that lost power, you wouldn't have any starting. There might be like a low oil pressure sensor in here somewhere that shuts power off to the ignition. Well, that's just theory. I'm not familiar enough with this system. Okay, time to take off the base for the air cleaner. It's none too clean. Let's see if I can get this off. Looks like it has a something like a crankcase ventilation system that pulls crankcase gases into here so that they're burned. A little bit like a PVC system in a car. Not that I'm a car mechanic. I'm a diesel mechanic. Kind of lost on cars. It looks like it just pops right off on the same bolt. I like it. Okay, now we have two linkages. This is the choke right here, and this is the throttle right there. And looks like I might have a little difficulty getting these off. This has a little clip, and this one just has to have a different angle so I can like tilt it to pull it off. So I'm going to give it a try and see if hopefully I won't bend the linkages. Maybe. Huh. Yeah, looks like I can pop this little thing here loose. That's and that'll release the throttle. Cool. By the way, I shut this off. If you guys do it, you'll have to pull this fuel line off first and put it somewhere safe, because otherwise this the gasoline is gravity fed to the carburetor, so that's the reason it floods if the seals are bad. But if you don't have a valve, you're going to have to disconnect it or find a way to pinch it off with some maybe needle nose pliers or something. Okay, now I bet I can pull this thing loose and tilt it a little bit to get the linkage. Oops, I'm going to need two hands for this. Okay. Looks like it's got a ground wire for the solenoid here. I'm going to have to get that off too. Huh. Could probably just cut it because I don't plan on reusing this thing. These are some very nice little wire cutters I got on Amazon. They were really cheap. Then when people started really liking them, they raised the price. Okay, now time to get the fuel line off. Good times. See if I can do this without spilling fuel. It should be empty. I let it run with the valve off until it died. Just a little bit of fuel. Okay, now let's see if I can tilt this and get the linkage out. And I got it. There's the ugly old carburetor. I think I'll clean it up a little bit, or this area, and then put the new carburetor in. Man, I really regret buying this CRC brake cleaner. It's a little bit cheaper, but man, does it ever stink. It's a freaking horrendous stench. Basically, if you're going to buy brake clean, I recommend paying just a little bit more, like a couple of bucks more, and buying a brand that's called Misty, and it is vastly less obnoxious than this stuff. I've just recently got some interesting news that there is a new platform that might be able to replace like YouTube and Minds, and it's decentralized, and it's called Library. And it's you'll just run the software on your home computer, or it's Mac, Linux, as well as Windows. And then it's a much more decentralized and a lot less totalitarian the way YouTube is. But in any case, it'll be like a torrent network, and you'll be able to just run the software from your PC, and you won't you'll be able to make any kind of content you want, and YouTube won't be able to block you or DMC you, or if you like hum a song or something, and the owner of the song decides they have a right to limit your ability to hum, and then you can actually do stuff like that on on Library, and there won't be shit they can do about it. Can I get that out? Got it. This is a little plastic dowel of some, or a little retainer. So I'm going to have to pull that out as well. Hopefully I don't break it because the kit did not come with one. Okay, out with the old, in with the new. Fuel line on this side, this is the throttle, this is the choke. So I'll put the little plastic doohickey back in here. Or should I? Yeah, I think so. And then get the throttle. Which side was it? Was it like this or like this? I think it was like this. Yeah. So guys, we are not far away from a time when we will no longer be gagged by the corporate elite who own freaking everything according to them. Gasket. There's a little plug here so I can plug this thing right in. Okay, hooking up the choke. The choke is in. And pop the carburetor on. Hook it back up to the regulator here. Okay. Hopefully all these adjustments will be correct. Let's see. Here's the throttle, and then the choke. The choke appears to be adjusted correctly. And the throttle's always high until the regulator slows it down. Okay. Okay, that's on. It was on the workbench. Okay. I guess the next step could be to plug the power connector in. Cool of my dad to buy me this nice air compressor. Click. Okay, now I think I would like it just a touch shorter, or I'll just reroute it. Yeah. Ooh. Listen to that. I must have had the. Oh, that's right. I forgot to shut off the ignition on this thing. I just shut the fuel off and then it died, and I forgot to shut the key off. But you can hear the little linkage clicking. That was kind of startling. Okay. Good thing I didn't spark it. I might have blown a fuse. So I'll put this little pin connector in and hook it up to that. I highly recommend these vice grip wire connectors, this style. They used to sell these sort of oval shaped ones, but these actually have like these teeth on it, and they will really crimp a wire in hard. But those ones that are just sort of squeeze it a little bit, not a fan. Okay, check it again. Yep. Okay. I could use a little electrical tape over that. First, let me shut this key off. I have some heat shrink tube, and I would very much like to use heat shrink tube over electrical tape, but the problem is it's so close to all this gas and gas fumes, I don't dare. I mean, if I If I had like a heat shrink gun that was flameless, I would do it, but there's no way I'm going to have an open flame this close to the friggin' carburetor and gas residue and vapors. That's just asking for trouble. I really don't like using electrical tape because it'll just fall off after a few years, but it's all I got right now. At least until I can get a heat shrink gun. I think I'll put that on my shopping list. Okay, that's good for now. Okay, linkage. Let's see how the air cleaner looks. Yeah, there's no trace of a gasket on here, so nothing to scrape off. Okay. I do love being a mechanic. I find it therapeutic. You see, the world is such a weird friggin' place. I mean, it's freaking weird with a capital W. There is so much weirdness and strangeness, and it's a weirder place than we would ever imagine. But there are things in the world that actually make sense, and this is one of them. I like this Craftsman nut driver. It'll go up to about 18 foot-pounds if it has a full charge, but not any farther. And small things like this almost never get over-torqued by something you know, just by 18 foot-pounds. So it's a pretty neat thing for light stuff like this. I liked it so much I bought one for work too. But if you don't use it a lot, it's not worth it, of course. And it's really nice for driving big, long, like 4-inch screws into boards, or you know, using drywall screws to secure things on your deck, like those deck boards. Very handy. Okay, well, I do believe I am ready. Whoops. I guess you guys are probably laughing right now, aren't you? It's not ready. I gotta put the friggin' fuel line on, duh. That's the thing. When somebody's watching someone else work, you're not actually working, you're just watching, and you can concentrate on it completely. And the guy who's actually doing the job, you can see him doing some truly fantastically stupid things from time to time. And then the guy's, of course, very embarrassed. That's one of the reasons why mechanics very rarely allow customers to watch what they're doing. It's because they'd be embarrassed because they would be caught screwing up so much. Let me find a better pair of pliers for this. Sometimes even a $2 pair of pliers is useful for something. Okay. And the fuel line is on. Okay. I better get a new air cleaner for this thing eventually. Sheesh. Okay, turn some fuel on, get it into the carburetor. Now it's time to see if this puppy will fire up. Pardon my paranoia. That is freaking astounding. Man, it starts so much easier than before. It just started on the first crank. Wow. Okay, now I'm going to secure that wire, pop the hood back on, and I have got myself a nicer riding lawnmower. I'm kind of lucky. My dad lives here. I don't charge him rent or anything, but he's taken it up on himself to mow the lawn for me, because I have some pretty bad allergies and I suffer horribly out there. And he says, "Benson, go back inside. I'll do this." So, okay, well guys, that's about all I got for you. And don't get married. Later.